Thanksgiving, the time where Charlie Brown decided to separate the black boy and make him sit on the other side. The time where you get to watch a parade because that's the only time we're allowed to watch parades and not be considered gay in this country. The time where we get to eat turkey. We get to eat turkey and get to have some mashed potatoes, apple pie, macaroni and cheese, stuffing, gravy, and we just get to pretend to be a Southerner. You know what? The Confederacy won Thanksgiving. That's what they were fighting the Civil War for. That's what Thanksgiving is. Now, Thanksgiving for me is hearing my brother talk about the Jews, talk about Palestinians, talk about Israel and Andrew Tate and the Zionist. Thanksgiving for me is hearing my sister talk about racism and how it's a big problem because we have the power to solve it over a conversation. Thanksgiving is my dad obsessing about Zoran Mamdani, even though he doesn't even live in New York City. But I have to hear all about our favorite Ugandan Indian mayor, Zoran Mamdani. And then my mother, who loves to sit on the TV and watch some Netflix. I just can't get enough of 1980s Britain. You know, I just love seeing British people from the 1980s talk about their lives. Because what's more to life than hearing about Britain in the 1980s? That's what Thanksgiving is for me. Do I love this? Absolutely not. Can we skip Thanksgiving this year? Can we just go from Wednesday to Friday? You know, we got Black Friday, man. I'm black. Black Friday, I don't even think companies make profit anymore. I think they just go from bailout to bailout. But can we just celebrate Black Friday when companies finally enter the black and go from red to black? I don't know why that sounds like some kind of Native American racial slur, but we're gonna say it again, red to black. And can we just go there? Can I just skip Thanksgiving? Can I just skip? Because all these things, these are not things I want. These aren't things that I'm like, oh man, I can't get enough of. But this is how the Intende family operates. Thanksgiving is a time where, honestly, it's a very neutral time where people come together, and it's a time where we should be thankful. And I am thankful. You know, if my family didn't operate the way it did, I wouldn't be who I am, with all my mental illness and everything in between. You know, I think Thanksgiving is a time, it's a time when we get to, you know, as Africans, we've made it as Africans because we have a plate full of food and a table full of, my family, we're just flexing on the continent we came from by having a table full of food. And, you know, this is just kind of how Thanksgiving is for me. I don't know what it's like for you. You know, you guys might be your family might be more of a Cuomo instead of Mamdani. You know, your brothers might be more into Nick Fuentes instead of Andrew Tate and Israel. You know, I don't know. Your sister might care more about the environment instead of racism. So, you know, there might be a lot of things. You know, your mom might be into watching, who knows, instead of 1980s Britain, she might be into watching, you know, Hallmark movies about 2010s Midwest. Because who doesn't love a good old Hallmark movie where they come back and they fall in love? Like, who just doesn't love that? Who doesn't love it when your high school boyfriend comes back after 10 years because he was tired of his finance job and he just wants to work at the local shop? You know, that's maybe what your mom might be into. Not my mom. You know, I'm still stuck in 1980s Britain. Maybe in the 2050s, you know, maybe we'll finally get to the 2010s in the UK. And that's kind of how my family operates. I think Thanksgiving is it's a great time, but it can also be a very contentious time. Not everybody gets along with their family. Not everybody is close with their family. Not everybody has positive associations with their family. So I completely understand if somebody doesn't like the holiday times because we're in the holidays for the next 6 weeks. 6 weeks? Yeah, 6 weeks. or 5 or 6 weeks. Yeah, we're in the holidays for the next 5 to 6 weeks where we got to deal with Christmas music, we got to deal with Thanksgiving, we got to deal with capitalism, and also we got to deal with a recession, you know. I don't know, it's the perfect storm. Being broke and using your credit card. It's just a match made in heaven. And so I'm gonna navigate these holidays. And you know, I think I'll do, what is it called? Vlogmas. Because you know, this channel is monetized. So I'm just gonna keep posting videos. You know, yeah, I get monetized off 10 views and no watch time. But no, yeah, I'm gonna keep grinding away, keep documenting, keep talking about Thanksgiving because, you know, it's why we gather together. When I was younger, we used to sing Pilgrim's Progress or Gather Together. I get them confused. I think it was called We Gather Together. You know, and that's what Thanksgiving is all about, is coming together to celebrate us annihilating the Native Americans, the American way, with a turkey. Come on, who doesn't want to just decimate some people? Because what's more American than kicking out indigenous people and then gaslighting them into thinking that they're the problem? That is the America I love. That's the America I live for. So as you gather with your family, and I feel sorry for those who are not close to their family, who are estranged from their family, I completely feel sorry because it's a tough feeling to feel isolated in this time. And, you know, I've had my bouts of loneliness. I completely understand what it feels like to be lonely. And it's something I still struggle with in my own personal life. And I also have deep, deep insecurity. So if you are alone on this holiday time, I truly empathize and I am sorry because that's not something I would wish on anybody, not even a Cowboy fan. And for those who are going to their family, you know, especially if you're going to the Midwest, you know what, just try not to run into your high school crush. But as you go back to your family, really just remember, like, this is where your roots are, this is where you came from, and this is who you are and what made you who you are. So really just show love, enjoy some cobbler, watch the Cowboys. Hopefully they lose, you know, because I'm going to watch the Cowboys game. Actually, I'm going to root for the Lions this year. That's how good I'm feeling. But yeah, you know, enjoy some Thursday night football. Don't get too drunk. Try not to get too political because you know what? Depending on what tax bracket you are, is depending on how much you like or dislike Donald J. Trump. And overall, just, you know, from my house, from my little room, you know, from my unemployed self, happy Thanksgiving. Thanks for watching this video. If you like, please like and subscribe. My socials will be linked down below and at the end of this video. Thank you so much, and I'll see you soon.